And to begin adding together these counts to show a factual basis for what had happened in the tens and tens of thousands of polling stations across that country. And when NDI went first as our very first international observation, and we came to know Namfrel and came to see the credibility of Namfrel, we stood with them and knew that they were showing the facts were very different than what was being said by the authorities. And it showed the basis for a fraud that was about to be perpetrated. And Dami, the Muslim Val, who is here, please, Dami, stand up. Dami is one of those 1,000 people, and many of you know Dami from coming to your country. Because I have to say, with NDI, when we went on our very first international observation, which was 1986, and I can tell you that Madeleine Albright and Walter Mondale, the founders of NDI, said we would never observe elections. But we were convinced to go to the Philippines because of the importance of it. And NDI reached out to my predecessor, Larry Garber, who was a human rights activist and lawyer who brought the human rights fact-finding principles into international observation, which was really the basis upon which so many of us now work. And he was wise enough to say, you have to go early, not just election day. You have to do all the things that we all know have to be done. And in the course of that, met Dami and others at Namfrel. And out of that came an experience that was a lesson for NDI, before my time, so I take no credit. But the lesson was the role of citizens in observing their own elections, the role of citizens in determining the credibility, the role of citizens in creating the transparency about which we all speak so often, is the basis for a democratic process. It's a foundation for this. And us as international observers, and in other ways that we intervene in the international community, to support that and to learn from that is critical. And so I would offer, Mr. Amadou, rather than saying domestic observers, which of course is to distinguish from international observers, we would offer citizen observation. Because this is citizens exercising their very right to participate in public affairs, and citizens creating the basis for knowing the genuineness of their elections, which are guaranteed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And it's citizens expressing their choice of who have the authority to govern. So those of us who come from the international community, who are working with those who are in government and holding power, should respect the right of citizens to observe, to make recommendations, and to work to improve elections as part of the broader democratic process. That's my next point. I've been asked to talk about the challenges that we all